What's going on, YouTube? Time Lord here, bringing you my first deck profile ever, actually. If you couldn't tell by now, it is a Batteryman deck profile. No, it is not OTK based. I do have the potential to go for game very quickly and perform an OTK, but I just play tested it a lot of hours on Dueling Network, just to make it as consistent as possible. It is a budget deck. I think the whole cost of like 40 cards plus a few others was a little more than $40. So I got a really good deal as far as this budget deck goes. On a side note, I am running the Player's Choice sleeves, bubblegum flavor. I do prefer them over Ultra Pros, simply because of their quality and how they match up with the cards. The only disadvantage to these sleeves is that they can be hard to shuffle sometimes. But obviously with the good comes the bad, and if that's the only bad issue, then I'll definitely take it. Plus, they sound really, really nice too, that nice snappy sound. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into to the review. We'll start off with 3 Thunder King Rayas. I run 3 because, number 1, it's a 1900 beater. The effect's really good as well. Obviously, it's a Thunder type. Neither players can add cards to their hand unless by drawing, and I can negate special summons with this card too. So I have Thunder Kings. I also run 3 Raimeis. Raimeis are good, 1400 attack. It's pretty decent as far as a card like this goes. Number 1, it's a Thunder type. And its effect, if it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, I'm then allowed to add a level 2 or lower light monster from my deck to my hand. Usually I'll choose either a Batteryman Microcell or a Batteryman D. These are really good cards as well. Let's talk about Microcell first. Microcell is a flip effect card. When it's flipped face up, I'm allowed to search through my deck to special summon 1 level 4 or lower Batteryman type monster. Special summon it onto the field, and I'll chain a lot of my combos from Microcell, as you'll see later on in the discussion. Also, if it's destroyed by battle, I get to draw 1 card from my deck for effect, which is good because it gives me some nice draw power. Batteryman D is also good. Sometimes I might special summon it with Microcell, depending on the situation. If I control more Thunder types besides Batteryman D, my opponent is only allowed to attack Batteryman D first, which is good because it's a 1900 defender, so it's not incredibly easy to be destroyed. Which brings me to the next monster, Batteryman AA. This is definitely staple in this deck. Definitely the primary engine. I special summon it a lot with Microcell effect and just a whole bunch of other card effects in general. The effect states, if I have 1 or more Batteryman AA monsters face up on the field, gains 1,000 attack for each, and if it's in defense, it gains 1,000 defense for each. So I'll have either, at most points, 3 AAs face up in attack position, sometimes defense position, but in attack it's 3,000 attack apiece, total of 9,000 attack, which is really big beaters, and I'll combo that a lot with this deck. This deck is just very consistent as far as combos go. Which brings me to Batteryman Charger. Wonderful card. 5-star tribute monster. Generally what I'll do, I'll sack a monster, tribute it, boom, get its effect. I'm allowed to special summon another Batteryman type monster, obviously besides Batteryman Charger, from my deck. And it comes out as 1800, but because of its effect, it gains 300 attack for every Thunder type monster I control. So it'll be 2100. It's a good 2100 beater when it's by itself on the field. Generally with Batteryman Charger's effect, I'll bring out a Batteryman Fuel Cell. Fuel Cell is also good in itself because it starts off 2100 attack, and its effect is if I have 2 or more face-up Batteryman type monsters on my side of the field, I'm allowed to special summon 1 of these from my hand. Sometimes I'll draw into 1 or 2, which is fine. By that point, I'll be able to have 2 or more Batteryman type monsters on my side of the field. Boom, special summon. Oh, you bottomless? Okay, boom, special summon another one. Activate effect, pop your back row, pop your monster, attack you directly for 21. So that's also pretty good effect. And I run 18 monsters. I do not run industrial strength. It just gets in the way, honestly. It really does. I do not like the fact that I need to remove 2 Batteryman type monsters from my graveyard. I can get them back with other cards in my deck. I play tested it a lot with Dueling Network, with 2 at the most. If you do want to run industrial strength, though I don't recommend it, do not run more than 2. 2 is, I barely even advise running 2. It's just a dead draw. But I do not run it in this deck. It takes away from the consistency. Nor do I run Honest. Honest, though it is a good card, I don't find it to be very good in Batterymen. Just simply because it takes up space, and I swarm a lot already, so my monsters are already going to have high enough attacks on their own. So that definitely takes away from the consistency of the card. So I do not run Honest because it is horrible in Batterymen. At least I think so. Let's move on to the magics, and then we'll discuss more on those. Obviously, I run 3 battery chargers, staples in this deck. I say in this deck because it comes with a small cost, 500 life points to special summon any Batteryman type monster from my graveyard. Another reason I don't run Industrial Strength is because I can't use Battery Charger to get Industrial Strength back. It's only allowed to be special summoned by removing 2 Batteryman type monsters from play from my hand, which is stupid. But yeah, I'll combo a lot with this and the next card we'll get into, which is Inferno Reckless Summon. I play tested on Dueling Network between 2 and 3. I decided 2 is a lot more consistent because too many times I'd get a dead draw with 3. Inferno Reckless Summon is a very good card in this deck. Basically, anytime I special summon a monster, such as Batteryman AA with 1500 attack or less, boom, chain, search through my hand, graveyard, and deck to special summon the other 2 as well. Obviously, your opponent is able to get that ability, but generally, more times than none, your opponent won't have the same cards of one name in their deck. Of course, they have to have a face-up card on the field for this to work. Which brings me to the next cards. Short Circuit. I run 2 of them. Tested it, found that 3 is a bit too much. Again, with the dead draw thing, I just didn't like it for consistency. Now, granted, if you do choose to build a deck like this, build it however you wish. Just for consistency purposes, this is a 40-card deck, and I limited things as much as I could to keep it as consistent as possible. But any more than 2 Short Circuits was just a dead draw for me. But Short Circuit is a really good card. If I have 3 Batteryman type monster face up on my side of the field, boom, activate, pop all monsters and magic and trap cards. All cards gone, and then attack for game. Easily negatable, yes, but sometimes I draw into 2. Oh, so you negate the first one? Okay, boom, play the second one, attack for game. Good game. I have a couple of interesting cards in here as well. One being this one, Card Destruction. A lot of people are like, well, Phil, why do you run that card? I'm like, well, for consistency purposes. I play tested it with and without Card Destruction on DN, and I found that I was able to get my Batteryman into the grave easier and be able to strengthen my field, especially mid to end game. As far as running a Card Destruction. So I was able to send my Batteryman to the grave, get him back closer to the end of the game, depending on how the situation goes. But I wouldn't say it's hit and miss, but it's a gamble. Sometimes your opponent will have a good hand. Sometimes I'll draw into this card, boom, play its starting hand. Sometimes your opponent will have a good starting hand, sometimes not. So it's a gamble that I'm willing to take, however. I do run staples like MST, obviously, for back row. I run 2, pretty much like I run 2 of anything else, spell-wise in this deck. Number 1, consistency, and 3 is good, but too much of a dead draw. Plus, I have a Heavy Storm. So obviously Heavy Storm is limited, so that takes place of the third MST. That takes care of the spells, so let's move on to the traps. I run 2 portable battery packs, which is almost exactly like Call of the Haunted, except that I can bring 2 Batteryman type monsters from my grave to the field. So it's more specific in that way. It's pretty much the same thing as Call of the Haunted, however, in that if this card is destroyed, both of the special summon monsters are destroyed as well. But that's good because I'll generally either use it for defense or to combo Inferno Reckless Summon or something like that. I got a lot of questions, on this next card, which is Metal Reflect Slime. I play tested with Threatening Roar instead of Metal Reflect Slime. Both of those cards are stalling cards, but I think, in my opinion, that this card is better for the time being, because not only when you activate it does it get sent to the monster zone and become a 3,000 defense monster, but you contribute it as well because it is a monster. So basically, end of my opponent's turn, boom, activate, defense, and you can't bottomless because it has 0 attack. The only way to destroy that is either MST, Heavy Storm, or Lightning Vortex, which is, obviously on your opponent's next turn too. Since it is an effect monster and a trap card, it can be destroyed by cards that destroy monsters and Trapper Magic cards. But yeah, I'll tribute this for like a Batteryman Charger. Boom, get Charger's effect, special summon a Fuel Cell, double A, chain it, whatever, and swarm really quickly. Plus, it gives me stalling capabilities, a lot longer than Threatening Roar would. I run 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. Obviously, it's limited to 2 and prevents a lot of special summons and summons in general, just staples and decks. I also run Torrential and Mirror Force. Now these cards are both good. Obviously Torrential, boom, set, activate when they special summon or summon, wipe out the whole field. Mirror Force for defense. Oh, you attack me, boom, not anymore. All your face-up attack position monsters are destroyed. But that takes care of the deck. As I said, it's 40 cards. Very, very consistent as far as play goes. So if you want to, go and net deck it, go ahead, go play it on Dueling Network. I have a lot of fun with this deck, but it's served me well in a lot of matches. This is definitely a tournament capable deck in my opinion. Especially at my locals. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to comment, rate, subscribe. I'm going to try to post a video about a Lightsworn discussion. I'm working on a Lightsworn build. I have a feeling it's going to make a comeback in the current meta that we're in. I don't like how a lot of people say that Lightsworn takes no skill to run, because there are plenty of decks out there like Windups and Dino Rabbit and Inzectors that don't take skill to run either. So all decks obviously take skill to run. It's just how much skill. But anyway, I hope you guys, like I said, like the video, and feel free to leave a comment. It really helps me out. But till then, see you next time.